Good afternoon and welcome to yet another session with Dylan. We are bouncing around doing a little bit more work, and as the title, oops, did I remember to clear the title? Just check in here. Yep. As the title implies, I made an oopsie. So there's going to be a little bit of church redesign, but you can see the neighbors have kind of it. Well, actually more the building inspectors, and they're not too pleased with the way the building looks. But I'm just waiting for their captain to disappear. No more foreman, and then these guys are going to get fired. But yeah, so it's just first thing I want to do is just gonna head up here, get a little bit noisy for a second, and switch over to show you what the mistake is. So it's not a big deal. Where are we here? Live references. On. Good afternoon, Benson. How are you doing today? Yes. Okay. Perfect. So, a little challenging. I'm just going to quickly zoom into that one just a bit more. Now, can anybody spot what math I boo-booed up? If you take it, actually, let's go up here and just do it with the camera. Hope we can get rid of sound. There we go. So if you take a look at the picture in the corner and count the arches, there are clearly 4 in the picture in the corner. I have 9. I was trying to figure out why on earth I only had 4 windows to work with on this side. There's one here that's not supposed to be there. Why I only had 4 to work with on this side and I had 9 on that side. And the truth is, it's because I have too many windows on that side. So yeah, oopsie daisy. What if I turn you a bit? So yeah, that's the oopsie I made. So part of today's project, or this evening's project, I guess, will be to try and rectify that by popping up some of these things and moving them over and stuff. So basically redoing this interior wall. Now, to give you a quick run, since this morning, I've been working on some exterior wall. So move things up a little bit, tried to put in some of the other windows and doors, and this one's excessively wide, but for some reason the building is so much longer than I expected. I think I've made some boo-boos all the way along. Rather than worrying too much about it, I'm just calling it and saying, yeah, it's license, I guess, prerogative, I can do whatever I want, and just leaving that there. But this interior thing with double the number of windows and whatever is not a boo-boo I want to keep. So long story short, really what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack up this one. Well, actually, I'm going to hack up all of these, really. Move them over by half. And then just find a way to connect the tops up together. And then we'll deal with all the separate set of windows after. So yeah, just a little bit of work. And to try and figure out how to not upset the building inspectors, I suppose. Let's take one more look and see where these guys are. I've got 3 out there, but none of them seems to be the captain. That's good news. And 2 in here. All right. And let's just double check just in case. Make sure I've got backup juice. No, that's not good. Usually have backup juice in here. Where did I put it? Oh, there is some. Okay. Keep that on hand because we're probably going to need it. As I start with getting rid of the building inspectors. 1, 2. All right. That bunch. And let's see what these guys think of me now. Hello, hello, hello. One at a time, please. There's 1. There we go. They're all the way through building this huge external chunk. They're going, har, har, har. But I didn't dare touch them because I saw the captain in there and I didn't really want a problem. Still too uncomfortably close to the villager trading book to be able to feel comfortable with having all these guys putzing around. Alrighty. Let's get rid of some of this extra stuff. The dirt hut is still from this morning when we had a Lego claim, which is totally fine. But because it wasn't during server reboot, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get given the boot, I guess. Oh, okay, let's junk over there instead. Mushroom. Okay. I still need to figure out what to do with a lot of this internal space, but I'm starting to get a feel for how big this is. It's pretty mondo. I'm impressed. I didn't think I'd build something that big. But since I have, then I guess it's time to figure out what to do with it. The first thing, I need to try and clone this bit, except halfway over. So, is that a lip? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of course. Go here. Not ideal splitting, but it'll work. 1, 2, 4. The first thing I'm going to do is mark it. Apparently I've touched that. Okay, fine. Let's see. Actually, put this one out one more. Benson, how's your day been? Did you manage to get anything done that you were hoping to? Oh, I couldn't remember if you'd said it was errands or what was going on. I know you were working on a puzzle when we were talking earlier. I forgot to ask you what the theme of your puzzle was. What was the topic of the picture? Nine. One. One, two, three. Oh, the 3, 4, 7, 9. Actually, let's take one of these. That in here and put this one in the other emergency bucket. There we go. Tidying up, or I'll never find it later. Alrighty. All progress. Legend of Zelda. Ooh. I didn't know they made jigsaw puzzles on that thing. That's pretty cool. Go away, llamas. We have the villager trader. I have absolutely no idea how he got loose from his llamas. I have not seen any leads or anything. He's loose. So I'll have to get rid of those llamas at some point. And I don't believe... Oh, JBT is here. Okay. He might appreciate a visit. And if not, he can kill him. That's good for me. So I will take that out of here. Cool. So our question has just been changed. Question of the day. It's just been changed to... What word or saying from the past do you think should return? Word or saying? Sorry. I would probably go with... I'm not really sure if there is any I liked. I mean, there's some really dumb ones, but then there's some really good words, and I just can't seem to think of them at the moment. But there's a good amount of, like if you're into reading literature or stuff, then there's a good amount of older words we just don't use anymore. I mean, like if there was a name to return, one of the names I think would be kind of fun to see return would be like Gertrude. It's one of those things you don't see very much anymore. Although Gertie is kind of awkward. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Be here. that didn't quite work. So that last one was in the wall. That's part of the problem. That's not supposed to be in the wall. All right. I'm just trying to think what other kinds of words I would like to see. I mean, there's a lot of describing words. Like we see the words, words, for example, we used to use gross and disgusting, but gross is also meaning large. I don't see that very much anymore. I find it interesting that there's words, I'll flip it over the other way and say there's words that I guess I could say I want to see come back, like throw, just because I'm not a fan of the current popular words for it. Like, to me, the idea of yeeting something seems absolutely ridiculous. Just a personal take. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the word. I just really didn't like it. So, the idea of yeeting something across the room or being yeeted just seems really odd to me. So that's one of the ones that I would say can go, but not fully sure I grasped the point of the question that way. I had 3, so that's 4. Up. Everything over by 2. Should be 9 in between. 6, 7, 8. That's on the 9th one. Perfect. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got counting with Delenn. Ha 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 ha. Groan. See, there's other words that we've used. I mean, I'm trying to think of another good one. There's, I guess, some of the describing words are things that I really like. For example, you don't often hear the word arcane anymore. I mean, it's got some odd connotations to it, of course. 9 between these two. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. 9 would be here. So let's move this by 1. 9 in between. 7, 9. 3, 9. Okay. Something didn't quite work right in the size of the building, but that's okay. Oh, whoops. 4, so this one should be out here, actually. Yeah. This one's off by 1. 7, 8, 9. But at the point where I can say forget that. 6. You're good. Good. As you can see, we're actually not that far off some of the pillars and just combining them. We're a little out, but not too bad. And because I'm actually going up a little higher on the back side of this, then it doesn't really matter that we're out. I can actually just work my way straight up and just pop it all out. And yes, 9 appears to be the magic number. 999, amazing number 9. Pick any number you can find, and it all comes back to 9. Sorry. When I was a kid, we had a show called Square One. It was all about math, one of those math learning kinds of things. I don't remember if it was on PBS or not. I would not be surprised if it was. That's my guess. But 9 has this really weird ability where the number 9 has a strange ability where when you're doing your multiplication tables with it, any two digits, well, actually, just anytime you do multiplication tables with it, you can add up the digits, and they always end up being either 9 or a multiple of 9. So you just keep adding them up and it comes back. Eventually it'll come back down, kid you not, the number 9. So yeah, they had a bunch of, they do songs and skits and whatever all around math. And so the 9 one actually was done as a really odd country tune with, you know, cowboy boots and the big hats, and I think it was about as stereotype countries you could get. So I just got used to hearing that one, and it got stuck in my head pretty easily. Wow, it's quiet today, but that's all right. That's all right. Okay, it's this. It will eventually be able to move in here, and we can see we've got some shape to it. So that's progress, for what it's worth. Okay, so now, not move this up that high. I need to move these. That one's good. Let's take that. This one up. Oops. Okay, we've got stairs, solid, stairs. Okay. Do this right. Nope, not gonna fit. Solid here. And that white. I can jump down here. Oh, whoops. Stairs. Solid. And then there's up there. Not times 2, just times 1. Solid and stairs should be at the end here. Here, and see if we can get that to work. Solid like this. And those are moving up anyways, so I'm not too bothered. And stairs like that. I don't remember what this is going to be. Oh well, I don't think it really matters anyway. Fix it later. If I never get to it, I never get to it, because that's supposed to hide behind the organ anyways. Okay. It's actually not bad. Solid in here, stairs in there. Okay. Stairs. Wrong way. These are a little bigger than they used to be. Oh, really? I just like actually do things right today. There we go. Stairs. Hello. Stairs. There we go. And the reason any of this actually matters, oops, is actually, I don't think it really does. No reason for it, I guess, is probably the better way of putting it. Now, I'm having a suspicion I just did the math and this is going to work out right. That will be only halfway here. It's got to have an odd time. Alrighty. And thank you very much for sleeping. Oops. Oh. Game. Now, I thought I had this correct, but apparently not. Oh, I guess not. This and that one up there. Please. Nope. Come on. All right. Let's see if that will come up correct on the other side. This one. Work. Oh, not gonna work. Down first. There we go. Top edge and come down. Top edge and come down. And not as curvy arch as I would have liked, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? Otherwise, they end up really, really wide, like the peaks of the building. Right there. No, I am not liking that. Hmm. Well, I stare at it for just a second. I'm just going to look up one of my other tools. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. 3. Thank you. This one. Craft helps. Where did you go? Three, 4. Okay. Working the picture with pointy on top, but it's also curvy below. That. Um, edges. All right. Well, let's go with something. If okay, how much height? Oops. Doesn't help if your helper tool doesn't stay on the screen. There we go. Okay. I'm just looking at a layout design or layout thing I've got. And how many tall is this? 2, 8. You've got 6, 8, 10 to work with. Six. Nothing I see is what I like. All right. Well, step one, pull out the stairs because they are looking ugly to me. Making it far too something. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, maybe other stair up in here. Slab there. Actually, I think I kind of like that. We've got a stair, slab, slab, stair, a slab, slab, and 2 stairs. Okay. This will be a slab. That one will be a slab. Yeah, I think I like that. Not as vertical as I wanted. I think it'll work. Okay. Of course, the last piece to finish that off is um, the 2 quartz. Okay, so let me see if I can repeat that. Over this side. Ouch. That is. Okay, stair, then a slab. slab, and then this right in the corner should be a stair. That way. Ooh. Hmm. There. We're getting there slowly. We're getting there slowly. Oh. Apparently my raid thing seems to be non-cooperative. Welcome on in, raiders. Welcome, welcome in. I have no idea why that went sideways. The bot apparently needs to be smacked. That's probably what it is. Following the leader,
Hello.
the leader. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you. So what have you been working on today? I'm actually redoing my walls. I made some boo-boos and had twice as many arches as what I really needed to have. So I'm redoing them. And it looks like my bot just bit the biscuit. Time to kill it and have it come back in. So hold your horses for a minute or two while that reboots itself. If you're going to be doing follows or whatever, just be aware that they won't be making lots of sounds. Alrighty. I have lots of dinging and ringing and whatever because my computer tells me every time that the bot makes a WebSocket connection from scratch. Love you, OBS. And but then we have some challenges to work on after that. Okay, so we've got this. How's me? Pretty good actually. On the whole, I mean, it's been kind of up and down of late. So I took a page out of your book, Lord Snarl, and am continuing on to stream, even though I might not have been in the world's best headspace for doing so. But using it as a bit of a therapeutic angle, because I seem to feel better after I've streamed. Whether or not the stream went well, I did something, I had a little bit of fun, and I shared it with people. And so I'm trying that angle just to see how well that works to let me dig out of holes from time to time. And anyhow, yeah, that's good. At the moment, temporarily frustrated by something in the build because I had built too many. Oh, why? Thank you very much, Lyric. I appreciate that. I did not realize you were hanging out today.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, Lego Streak. Lego stream, yes. So, Lyric has contributed to our Lego stream, the community challenge. And if we manage to complete the community challenge,
Oh, hello there.
which it appears there are 4 days left, we're 80% of the way there. So if we do manage to complete our Lego challenge in the community, raise enough points, then I will throw an extra stream on outside my usual schedule, and I will. I thank you very much, Lord Snarl. And so what I will do with that extra stream is I will build the Harry Potter, what's it called? The Dumbledore's Office set from end to end. So no breaks in between or anything like that. And we'll just start in the beginning and finish when we are done. That sounds kind of funny, but that's, yeah. So that's the goal. That's the community goal. And it sounds like Lyric and Fantastic Shark Fox and several others are really keen for it. Every time I turn around, there's more points in the bin. It's awesome. So, Lord Snarl, what was it you were working on today? I saw that you've been playing, but you went live right after I had to run off and do some other stuff today, so I didn't get a chance to see what it was you were working on when you first went live. It's I'm not sure if I read it right, but you may have actually been live since I was last online. So that's Good long stream, to be sure. And this one. Ooh, funny you should mention that, actually. Lolly, I mentioned, I should say, funny you should do that. But I actually had a creeper damage incident with my carpet art the other day. So just quick jump into journey map. I've been working on a very large 150 by 150 carpet art. Now, people have asked me if this is meant to be map art, as in, like, will I make a map out of it? Honestly, I have no idea if it's chunk aligned or anything like that. I've got no clue. But we dug down from 94 down to 70, and we're making carpet art. And that one is, I'll just swap this one for that one. You can see that we've got a book cover that I'm copying out, and it's taking some time. And then there's a little slot on the left where I'm actually, it's not super. Oh, whoops, wrong way. It's not super easy to see, but there's a vertical strip on the side here because I made a boo-boo. Didn't like it. Found out the picture was 1 degree twisted. So I straightened it, and then of course it threw everything out of alignment. So rather than fudging it, I went all the way through to this spot, and then I went back to where I had picked up and worked it backwards. So we're almost at the point where I could switch over and do the third section there. Almost there. Yeah, the beacon will be removed afterwards for sure. For sure, I won't need it there anymore, and I'll probably add it to something else. We'll have to see what the next project is. I haven't the foggiest at this time what it's going to be after this. One of the side quest projects, I guess, is I'm going to be building a fish farm. It might be this week if I get sick and tired of the church. It might be next week, but the idea behind the fish farm is that, oops, can I reach? And I reach, how high up? There we go. Fish farm is just to get enough fish. So, I mean, I could even do it manually, but I just don't want to waste stream time for that. I just want to get enough fish to start getting kitties. And it's not because I like kitties. I mean, they are darn cute and all. But the theme to the base this season is mystery books and mystery series that I've enjoyed. And so in that sense, I was reading a book series involving a character called Jim Quilleran, and he's got a couple of cats. So it's the Cat Who series. I mean, things like The Cat Who Knew a Cardinal, The Cat Who Ate Danish Modern, The Cat Who Said Cheese, a few other weird titles, but it almost always has some weird way of involving his cats. So I figured, well, rather than doing a build for that character, because I was having a bit of a challenge trying to figure out what I would do, I decided instead that I would just collect a whole ton of cats. So yeah, that's going to be my Cat Who reference, is tons of cats. So yeah, I wish I'd been actually spending more time in people's streams. I really wanted to, but last night we actually, it was my daughter's Cub Scout night, and so we went out to a local provincial park and had a good old campfire with marshmallows and whatnot. Did some planning for some upcoming activities and that sort of thing. So we all came in smelling like a campfire, which was fantastic. I mean, one of my favorite smells. No sarcasm intended at all. But unfortunately, my daughter may have a small allergy to campfire smoke. She wasn't feeling very well today, so she stayed most of the day. I mean, she only got to the point where she had to come home about 40 minutes before the end of the day, which is odd because it's a 10-minute walk from school to home. But she just didn't feel that she could continue. We're okay with that. So I'm tracking how frequently that happens with relation to campfire incidents, because we've had a couple other ones in the past where she wasn't feeling well after we'd had a campfire before. And I just want to, nip it in the bud if it's actually just a smoke situation. It does kind of stink though, because I mean that would be a pain if you were actually allergic to campfire smoke. I know that there's one in Dadcraft's community who is allergic to that sort of thing. I believe it was Arch Thunder who said that he's allergic to one particular kind of wood. So if you burn a campfire with anything else, he's fine. But if you do it with that one particular kind, he'll have all kinds of allergy style issues. Seasonal allergy style issues. Need this. Where is that? Goes there. All right. Oh, how was the soccer match? Yes, good memories, Lord Snarl. Thank you very much. Um, we had our what they call mini fest to wrap up the kids soccer season, or well, let me correct, kids outdoor soccer season. There's going to be the indoor one starting soon, but we had the mini fest to wrap that up. Neither game was a win, but I would say both kids performed fairly well. It's very clear that the outdoor crew is not familiar with the smaller size field available on an indoor facility, and so the mini fest was held at the indoor facility, which is kind of interesting seeing preteens um, running around in the smaller facility when they're not used to it, because they still give you the same power in the kick as you would have in an outdoor, but of course that will get just about every single player able to punt it from one end to the other. So the teams both just sort of gave up on actually bothering to get in a good position to block the ball. They just sort of waited at the other end of the field for it to come their direction. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I actually enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. My parents came out to watch as well because, I mean, just a couple of half-hour games for the festival as opposed to the usual ones, which are an hour game and an hour practice. Yeah, we're looking forward to starting the indoor season. My kids do like to do that as well, so they've been doing both for quite some time. So, yeah, we went up to celebrate on Sunday afternoon for lunch, so we took them to a restaurant so they could chill out. And of course, they picked a fun but rather loud sports bar. Because over here, that we are allowed kids in the sports bars. Um, Most kids, as far as I know, don't really want to be there, but mine just might be a little bit different, I guess. Yeah, soccer or soccer or football, depending on your locale, um, can definitely turn itself into indoor dodgeball. Um, so one of the reasons actually that we like having our kids in the indoor is it really has helped them learn a lot more in terms of control of the ball, um, because you don't want to use quite so much you don't want to use quite so much power when you're indoors just because of the smaller field. And it's not that these are kid-sized fields either. There, as I understand, are adult leagues that play the same. I don't know if we've got a regulation-sized indoor field or not. Really should look into that one of these days. But yeah, we've seen lots and lots of youth. Oh, too high. Lots and lots of youth who are not familiar with that indoor size, and the adults aren't either. So they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to kick it for you, so you can practice being in goal or whatever." And the poor kid has to duck because the parents just don't realize how hard their kicks are when they're indoors.
Hello?
Hey, Yellow, how are you? Yeah, you see, most of the Beacon of Doom, the other piece of the Beacon of Doom is hanging out with the carpet art. I was actually working on carpet art while the Dadcraft community was having a movie night on Friday, and was having a good time, but I made a boo-boo. Not a big one, but I made a boo-boo. I'd commented on, and then I realized, like, I commented on it in their Discord, and then I realized, oh, it wasn't such a big deal after all. It was actually a little easier to fix than I had originally anticipated, so I was glad about that, but it was frustrating because I was enjoying the movie. And then I discovered an error, which distracted me from a good portion of the rest of the movie. But we were watching Big Hero 6, which I'm not sure what I think about it. I'm not particularly a fan of that one. So yeah, I had not seen it before, so I was definitely fresh at it, and people were kind enough not to spoiler as we went along, but definitely it leaves a good amount to be desired. Okay, what do we got going here? This one, that one. That. Oops. I'm I have my cheaty window on, and I'm still missing messages. Silly me. Hey, yellow. I'm getting an itchy band finger. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't want to time out my buddies and my friends. Most of the people here are, all the ones who are here right now are definitely my friends on stream. We had one uninvited guest this morning, but Benson was very helpful and quickly dispatched them, so that was quick work on her part. And I mean, really, she beat Fantastic Sherlock Fox to it, which is good because he's got enough screen real estate that it actually rather surprises me when he doesn't catch something. Whereas I don't know whether or not Benson was running on mobile or not this morning, but yeah, just one of those impolite individuals who decides they're going to come in and try and sell you a service you really don't need anyway. Don't need, don't want, it's kind of dishonest, that sort of thing. So I'm revamping this wall because, oh, whoops, wrong picture. Sorry, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I had pictures on, but not the one I wanted. Okay, so as you can see out of on this one, for those of you that have popped in a little bit later, there's, if you actually count carefully, there's only 4 arches, but somehow in my earlier design, I had decided that I was going to build 9, which worked well enough when I was working on the first side of the building because you couldn't see it from outside, so it didn't really matter. But then when I got onto the second side, I only had 4 windows up top. I was trying to figure out why did I have 4. There's an error on there, I know, but 4 on one side and then 9 on the other, and it really, yeah. Then I figured out, oh, I wasn't supposed to have that many arches either. Most of the reference pictures I have don't show you the full length of the section from this large arch here down towards the tower at the other end. So when I spotted the one that's on screen now, I was like, really? That's the problem? So I was trying to figure out why, because as you can see, there's one window above each of the arches, so I have extra windows that we need to chop out. But yeah. I mean, it's not supposed to be picture perfect. Really, this is, I think Lord Snow, you may have heard this before, but I'm not fully sure. I know Lolly probably hasn't. But anyway, so because I'm doing a base based on mystery characters this evening, this was referencing Father Brown. And so when I discovered that there was pictures available of the church used for filming location in the more recent TV series starring Mark Williams. The name may not mean much to many people, but he played Arthur Weasley in the Harry Potter movies, so Ron's dad. So when I discovered that there were actual pictures and information available about the real church building that was actually used, which is, strangely enough, in the show it's used as a Catholic church, but in reality it's actually an Anglican church. And that Mark Williams, the actor, is not in the least religious, as he says. I mean, you know, everybody's got their own personal faith kind of thing. And even if your faith is to not have one, anyways, he definitely stated, yeah, he's not Catholic, but he plays a Catholic priest really well. So. But I figured, hey, it was a shoe-in for design to base the reference to Father Brown off of. If I could actually do something based on the filming locale. Yes, that's true. I did hear about that, which is mildly funny, but on the other hand, as I understand it, there is actually no real, what's the word? Ban on, or not ban, that's not the word. Yeah, I guess it probably is. Ban on Catholic priests having alcohol. It's just that they're not allowed to get drunk. That's the key. No drunkards. But on the other hand, there are plenty that have, and then they just show up at confession on Friday and in their books all's well. So I don't know where you sit on that one. I myself am putting the reference in not because of any religious connection on my own part. It's that I absolutely love the character and the stories of the mysteries. So yeah, that's what that's all about. Oops. Boo boo. But yeah, I've heard Mark Williams can be interesting to have in the makeup department, because his interest in the odd top up can sometimes cause problems for the makeup artist to get a consistent look from shooting day to shooting day. Naughty, naughty Mark. Well, I'll say, if you're familiar with older American actors, he definitely is got nothing on W.C. Fields. W.C. Fields was a downright drunk on set fairly frequently. But he made enough bank for the box office that got away with an awful lot more than I thought he ever should have. Okay. I actually also thought it's funny in hindsight. I do like old films and stuff as well. And it was funny in hindsight after I watched, W.C. Fields doing David Copperfield, which is, if I remember correctly, is a Charles Dickens novel. And I personally would not have placed an actor who's kind of got a comedy wit, I suppose. I would not have placed a character like that in a Dickens novel. But hey, I suppose it works. Kind of get used to watching things for how do I put it? You're giving a lot of things the benefit of the doubt that way. Or another way of looking at it is just taking it for what it is and not expecting it to be any connection to other work. I mean, just about everything you see in Hollywood these days, even when they say it's a true story, the reality is it's an inspired by true story. My foot, because sometimes, some films that don't do well in box office actually realize that most people's real lives don't translate well to camera. 2, 3, 4, and if I finish off this half, then we're done. Excellent. That part. But then I have to go and do the windows. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not a dry individual. But that said, I'm drier than a lot of. I was never really much of a drinker anyways. Like a bit of a social drink here or there sort of thing. But it's quite a while. Well, tried to go to school, meaning as in I went to college for a while in a city here called Lethbridge, about 2.5 hours, I guess, south of where I'm at. And Lethbridge is well known for its culture of the Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormons. Make of that what you will. They're a fun group socially. For a gal who doesn't want to drink, it's a great place to be. Because they're, hanging out with them, they're not going to make you. It's fantastic. But not everybody agrees with them, and I can see why. They have some odd belief sets that don't always resonate with people. So anyway, but yeah, I was hanging with them for a while, and so during that period, I just got out of the habit of having a drink, and so for a long time, I was the designated driver and just dry simply because I just didn't have an interest in drinking anymore. What's school? That's a very good question. It's that thing I tried and did not succeed at. Yes. You hear a lot about, calculus and maths and all that jazz. And I'm still bitter about that a little bit. Not that I necessarily wanted to have some sort of big fancy pants degree or whatever. They're very, very useful. They're definitely a ticket to a lot of other things in life. But I was just bitter about the fact that one of the absolute base courses you need for just about everything is calculus math. And I did not do at all well in that class and ended up giving it up. Because, well, truthfully, it really boils down to because I didn't get it. However, in some schools, What's wrong? What did I do there? I think I forgot the slabs. For a lot of bases, you need to have math to. Oh, that's not right either. This one. But anyways, you need to have calculus as your introductory math. Now, some schools have two streams of calculus where you can do. Why is that looking so wrong to me? Let's take this out and find out. Where you have sort of intro class, and then there's the, oh, well, you understand this? Let's not bore you with the absolute basic stuff type of class. I guess that's fine. Maybe it's just the fact that I've got the windows offset. It looks weird. Anyway, so I thought, well, calculus looks and sounds hard. So in my grade school, I was going to take an introductory class in the basic part that they call linear algebra. Well, the linear algebra course that we took, not linear algebra, sorry, what is it they call it? Ours just gave it like a Math 31. It wasn't really calculus for advanced placement sort of deal. But anyway, the point to that part of the story was that in order to pass, you had to have a percentage grade of 65. Sorry, pardon me, a percentage grade of 70. And I came out with like a 65 or 67 or some such. I don't even remember anymore. But the problem was, in the university near me where I was going for introductory university, take calculus and all that jazz, that you had to, if you had record on your transcript of having taken the course, whether you passed it or not, then they didn't let you take the basically calculus for idiots course. And the weird bit is, aside from like one good story that came out of the professor in that class, I dropped it because, but everybody in the class who ever said anything in class were all the guys from my high school, guys and gals from my high school, who'd been in my Math 31 class, and we were all struggling because we hadn't passed the course. So yeah, not a fan of that one. Okay, so I think this looks good enough. I'm going to go up and do the windows on the upper level. Yeah. Sometimes the administrations in various different schools like look for scapegoats. And I really dislike it when they do that. Okay, what have we got here? I think that, aside from it being the wrong smooth sandstone, not the quartz, I think that this window is going to work. Now, how much higher do I have to lift it? I've moved it up on the other side, so I want to try and match. 2 blocks, it looks like. 2 blocks. Right? Yes. No. I understand. The other thing I find is, now this is going to be a personal opinion that may or may not be popular. Oops. Okay, sure. I personally happen to believe that ADD and ADHD are getting overdiagnosed these days. And the reason I care, not really care, I guess, but the reason I point that out, in the corner, is that I'm not saying it doesn't exist, it definitely does. Yeah, so it's getting overdiagnosed, and my thought on that is that because of that, it's a real thing. But those that are really really do have the challenge, that actually do need the assistance that some systems provide to, or the tolerance, I guess, for, being able to move if you need to focus, um, move around, walk around the classroom or whatever, if that's what it takes to help you focus. Or some schools actually are nice enough to be able to go to like IKEA and look at a little stool that's got a rounded bottom on it, and they'll swap that out for your school seat, so that kids that actually need that can get that type of support. The problem for me is that because it's too overdiagnosed, is that for a number of either teachers or school administration sets don't believe the youth when they say or they or their parents say that they have a challenge they need to have assistance with. Okay, so 1. Oops. So then students don't get the assistance they need and are still expected to perform the same as the students who are getting the help they need. So that's just very frustrating to me. I don't have personal experience with the ADD and ADHD crowd in terms of, like, there's no one like that in my family. However, I'm pretty sure we've got a couple of them that I've dealt with over the years in our scout group. So, we've got that. And then we haven't got any special needs individuals at this time. There was, years ago, I can't even remember what the kid had, but there was a couple of youth who were in the program, and definitely one of them needed an assistant. Like, they weren't trouble in any way, shape, or form. They actually had a physical challenge, but their parents wanted a break, and they were not willing to put on the shirt, as we say, to come in and be a volunteer leader. So the totally untrained volunteer leaders were stuck with trying to give this kid the best experience they could. And his sister was there, but they were only there for, I think, a year maybe before the family returned, or it's not returned, refused to return. It wasn't that we had done anything wrong. Apparently, the sister had put her foot down and had told her parents she was not going back because she did not want to always looking after her brother. She wanted to be able to have fun herself. And that was something that they just couldn't accommodate. So they decided not to put them back in. I think it's just really a shame, but it happens. This ridge is that one farther back I need. I have to remember that. All right. So yeah, that's the story for that one. And then I've been through some courses that talk about how to help out, kids on spectrum and other challenges. So I feel better prepared if we ever have youth coming in again. But thus far, we've had one who's on ADHD medication, and his parents said if the kid's ever being a challenge, just phone and the parent will come and meet us. And we've never ever had a problem with him. We even went to camp with him a couple weeks ago, and he actually would come to us every morning and let us know, hey, it's breakfast time. You guys have my meds. And parents said it's not a big deal if he ends up off his meds for the weekend. Like, it's not going to be a problem. And he didn't want that. He actually wanted to stay regulated and on task. And I thought that was pretty awesome. He's usually a pretty wired kid, but that's probably partly because of him being who he is, But yeah, the moving and fidgeting thing drives me nuts. As Fantastic Shockbox will vouch, I have encouraged the purchase for our kids of a couple of those fidget toys. Each of them has a fidget spinner. I think we bought one for my son, and then my daughter managed to get one out of like one of those carnival coin box things. Like, you put in your money and then you twist the little knob thing, and there we go. So you twist the knob thing, and then you get a little like bubble shaped whatever container thing that you can put, that you open up, and then there's a toy of some sort inside. She got a fidget spinner off that one. But we've bought a couple of the fidget cubes. She's got quite a collection of the poppet things. There's time and place for her to use some of them, but usually they only use them when we're going somewhere that we know they tend to be really fidgety. And sometimes I've requested that they bring them to the dinner table based on how much I've seen them stretching and fidgeting after school. Because otherwise my son does this like monkey thing where he's got his arms way over his head and hanging way, like that. Or he's playing with the bottom of his shirt and stretching it all out. Or, like when my daughter has the opportunity, sometimes she'll be wearing shorts or whatever, and then she's got something like an extra little cape on them, so they turn them into, in essence, what's called a skirt shorts, and she'll fidget a lot with the skirt part of it, which is fine. She's very aware of the days that she's got a proper skirt versus the days that she's wearing shorts, but I just don't. I'm a little paranoid, and I don't really want to risk that for her sake. I'm the one who's a prude hung up on propriety in our family. Pardon me. Okay, so that's the one. Um, oh yeah, if you can get a routine that really works for the kids, and there's other ways to regulate, then I'm all for it. Like I think the other thing is, as much as we as parents like to be there for our kids, sometimes being there all the time or having them medicated, as we can't always be there to make sure that they're always taking the meds. Sometimes it's up to the teacher or the scout master or the activity lead or whatever the case is to help make sure that they get them. And it really helps if you've got a routine where, even if it's not meds, if you've got a routine that works for them and that's enough, then I'm all for it. And I like to, one of the things I like to do every year is talk to our parents. So I've kind of got a routine going with my co-scout leaders for our group where they know I'm the parent talker person. I'm generally introverted. Wouldn't necessarily know that, but some of you would definitely note that. But anyway, I'm the one who likes to talk to the parents and say, hey, is there anything we can do to make things easier for you, for your kid, for, whatever, to help it out. And then I've also been the one that's had to sometimes go up to the parent and say, I don't understand your particular kid. Is there something you can clue me in as to what your routines are? How are things different at home or whatever, so that I can follow the same patterns, right? I'm that person. That's because I don't like being the one on the pointy end of the stick that deals with all of the parents all of the time. I didn't read my email. Oh, well, you should have phoned me. Oh, well, because it's the same place we've been the last 12 times we've been here, I don't know how to get here and I got myself lost, that kind of stuff. I don't like being on the pointy end of that one. The other thing is we tend to find if you're on the pointy end of, on the pointy end of that part of the stick, then you end up also getting stuck on program planning and everything else, and that's not high on my list. Okay. This window moved over by one to the left, I think. And then these three need to get destroyed. Okay. But first things first. Dogs are easier than kids. Yes, if your dog is continent and has a half decent personality. I miss my dog, so I'm not gonna get all teary-eyed or anything silly like that, but I do miss my dog. We had a lovely one who loved our kids to pieces. Actually, we got him, well, I guess, well, technically we got him before we moved out in 2002. And the dog was a rescue. They've guessed he was about 2.5 years old or so when we got him. I've got to go down too. Anyway, excuse me. Apologies for doing that on camera. But the dog was amazing. But the first thing he did when we moved out was he decided, yep, that was it. He was going to decide the house was his and mark it as such by whizzing on the corner of our love seat, which had been gifted by my, well, now in-laws, but you know. So it was like hand-me-down furniture that we really wanted to take care of, and dog had other ideas. Okay, here's this one. Oops. But I mean, the guy was great overall. By the time we had to say goodbye to him, he was not supposed to. He was Beagle Hound cross, and so they usually tend to live about 16, maybe 17 years. But he'd had his 19th with us, or was finishing up his 19th year, so he had a good run. And at that point, he was a mess. I've heard little bits and pieces about Olivia Benson's dog. She has a very cool, I would say, a cool dog and a cool situation. Well, I my grandmother used to train dogs for show, and at one point had been, as such as it was back in the day, had taken training on how to train them to be able to be assisted dogs. So Benson's dog stories really intrigue me and interest me. Not to mention, the pup at your house, guys, is so cute. It's one of those ones that has like the little ears that where the base half of the ear is very stiff, I guess. So like nice and open, but then has that cute little curl over on the tip, and definitely shows a lot of personality or doganality, I guess. Yes, your baby. And one of the things I'm sort of selfish about, but thankfully never had any reason to have an opportunity, is I would have loved to have actually been able to go somewhere, whether even if it's just like Europe or where it's more acceptable, but to be able to go somewhere with my four-legged friend, I think that would have been awesome. I mean, you can go places here, but what I mean is being able to head into a shop or being able to and go for lunch, just have the dog sit at the feet or something like that. It's becoming more dog friendly in our neighborhood now, but not anywhere near what I would have liked. Okay, so about blocks to the right of me, I'm guessing. Yeah, about that. Okay. I can look over the edge. All right. That's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other side of it, though, is dogs are hard to manage at the best of times. So if you're managing different elements of yourself or your family while you're managing a dog who's also being very needy at times, then it can be a handful. So, I mean, there's ups and downs to all of it. I used to work actually in a pet store, and I was never a fan of the live pet sales. Um, but the dogs we had came from a rescue foundation. I did that wrong. And so I was always pleased when we got to see some of the personality dogs go home. Have a fantastic sleep, Lord Snarl. You are several hours ahead of me. So yeah, I'm assuming you're on BST right now, and it'll be not that long till you're on the Greenwich time that we're more used to. But yeah, I can imagine it's pretty late for you. Have yourself a great night, Lord Snarl, and we'll talk to you again soon. I appreciate you for dropping in and bringing your friends, your community. And it's more than Tom. But yeah, you and your community are always welcome here. Sleep well. That's the funny thing about streaming is you've got people from all around the world. Like, I watch Carnage Joe as well, who's from Australia, and Joe is amazing, but it's just kind of funny to me sometimes when I think about the time differences because I'm at so if you want to wrap your brain around this one just math wise, I know we've got a date line in between, so that does change everything, but good plan. We've got an international date line in between, but I mean, I'm at right now GMT, so Greenwich Mean Time minus 6 hours, whereas Joe is at, I think it's Greenwich Mean Time plus 10 hours. So she's wide awake when she's streaming, and I should be in bed. Just that kind of, oops, that kind of thing. So who's going to win the Champion of the Hill this time? What are they going to win it with? Will it be the feather duster? Maybe an iron? Possibly a pillowcase. Yellow, don't forget to join yourself. Just because you triggered the fight doesn't mean that you're actually in it unless you join the fight you triggered. Oh. Boo, huh? Boo, no. Using the feather duster. You tickled them all. Either that or you made them sneeze. Eee. That would be cruel and a half just to make them sneeze. Dust allergies! Yes, indeed, dust allergies. Okay. Here we go. So do remember, if you've triggered the fight, you're not actually in it unless you've joined. There we go. Yeah, I guess I should have made that clearer. Alrighty. I'm just about on this wall. Let's see. Bar is... Nope, nope, that's level. Okay. Remember, the bottom part is done differently, though. And it's oddly off-center on this side. Oh, fantastic. Maybe I did make an error. I did indeed make an error. Shoot. Well. Rip it out, rip it out, rip it out. That's one way to retain materials. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. That's in the, not as a winner piece anyways. The tips. The tips of what? I would like to know. So I actually meant to inset this by 1 and I didn't. So now I have to redo that. One, two. Dang. Not actually flat up here. That, did I actually have it go? Oh, that has to stay. Now I know where I'm at. Sort of, kind of, maybe. You plot your way to the top. Let's see. I gotta pause for just a sec to see who was the biggest fan today. Fantastic Charlotte Fox still claims he was first, which is funny because I don't even think he's here. What else have we got? Our biggest fan is Benson. Yes. Okay. So the way that biggest fan thing works, in case you guys hadn't actually picked up on this, um, every time the biggest fan gets claimed, it becomes more expensive by 5 points. But the who was here first doesn't change that one. And I don't think I have disabled them, but I had not realized because I was playing bingo. Now yellow is our biggest fan. I didn't realize that since I was playing a good amount of bingo, I had forgotten to re-enable the uh, the redeem for Lego time or the redeem for Harry Potter trivia, because those were things that would be, understandably inconvenient in the middle of a Lego run. But now I figured that out, which is kind of nice. I think I've had it on for, I don't know if it was just this morning or if it was, I remembered last week too. But yeah. Ooh, we're getting close. Let's see. We're at 86% with 4 days left, and 2 of those I'm streaming. Well, I've got 3 more streams this week before that will try and expire itself. So tomorrow morning I will be doing the room 3, so continuing on that route. And then when the kids are home in the evening, I will be doing Escape Simulator. But we'll see if they're all interested in their video games on their own computers. Then I might do some more of the room 3. We'll see how far we get. I find both of those games kind of addictive, and so they work out well for whatever Wednesday. One of those whatever, you never know what you're going to get type of days. Though there's been some content released for Cities Skylines that I was kind of curious about, so that won't be tomorrow. If I do that at all, that'll be like next week, because I've been enjoying the escape room style thing. Yeah, and the challenge build right now for doing Dumbledore's office. That's actually a very good test run. It's a, what did I say, 654 piece set. And it's part of sort of the second run of Towers, or not Towers, Harry Potter castle work that's been put in. Now, the earlier stuff, there was a set that went up to 2018, I believe, and it had sort of gray roofs, and these ones have sort of green ones. And those 2 sets, I mean, some people had trouble distinguishing between the two and wondering why they don't actually connect to one another, etc. But that's what I'm going to be building now, is the Dumbledore's office one. So it's cool, but the one that we're building in fits and spurts from the current the 5 more minutes sort of thing, is we're building a magical trunk, which has a whole ton of references to various different Harry Potter movie type stuff, from like house points through to common room materials through to probably Transfiguration class, my guess. So it's got a lot of cool characters and stuff in it, and I've been enjoying those. Ooh, thank you very much. Random fireworks. Okay. Come on, game. Tell me why you're giving me the fireworks. But oh yeah, it's got to change. Okay. But that's what we're working on lately for our regular scheduled build. Oh no. And then if that goes well, then later in the year, I will be doing a second run, second separate stream, because Fantastic Shock Fox spoiled me pretty good on our anniversary in the first part of this month. And it wasn't September at our house. It was 15th, I think it was 15th anniversary. And so for that one, he bought the, he knows I love Lego. So yeah, nice guy. But he bought the 12 Grimald Place Lego set. So that's the one based off of, goodness, it's going to bug me which book number. 6, I think. Anyway, no, sorry, pardon me, 5. Wow, shame on me. Anyway, the point to that was that you got that set, and it's got an interesting mechanism where it's got a house that, or a like a apartment walk up that's actually between two other houses, and it actually has an interesting mechanism in terms of how it has the two connect to each other. Not connect, yeah, connect, but that it's connected in such a way that you can play with it to open and close and make the house in the middle disappear. So I just thought that was kind of a cool little feature that they've got going on that one. So that's a build that might be kind of fun to do on stream as well. I don't know if you did get the show me a few of the Speed Champion ones. I will be perfectly honest, Lyric, I'm not very good at recognizing cars. So I can tell you, hey, that's a cool car, and I've seen that on Top Gear or something. But that's as far as it really gets with me. It's not that I don't like them, I just don't recognize them. You may have. Unless the exception on that being, unless it was like one of the classic movie Aston Martins from like James Bond or something, in which case I probably would notice that one. Though I will admit I don't remember much. This odd, oops, wrong one. The odd bit about me having a bit of a, what did I put earlier? Blue period. The odd bit about me having a bit of a blue period is that sometimes I don't necessarily remember as well what I've been reading on Discord. I don't really have a reason why. I wish I did. Yeah. So that's the way it goes. That's the way that cookie crumbles. 2, 3. Oh, we are just about at 7 p.m. my time, which would be 9 p.m. Eastern on a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Which means that it would be fairly soon here. We'll be into oh, yep, we are into Huge Stormy Owl territory. So, Huge Stormy Owl is the one that I will be reading in tonight. I don't, other than saying that she's playing Minecraft, I don't know which of the two servers she's playing on tonight, or if she's doing something completely separate yet, but Stormy's always a fun one for us to raid on into. So I think that's what we're going to do to finish up. I'm just going to finish up this piece of window because then I leave it where I left off. Yes, that doesn't make any sense. Know where I left off when I pick up again. So I'll be back doing this type of build on Thursday, but tomorrow will definitely be Whatever Wednesday with the more escape room type theme to it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. And tomorrow we'll have an evening slot, whereas Thursday probably won't. Because Thursdays is my son's scout meeting, and so prior to that I would often have a Thursday evening slot. But now that he's doing scouts, then yeah, that's what happens there, is I go scout leader with him. So, we've made some progress. Hello, through the window. Made a little bit of progress here. I'm still going to keep poking away at this one over the next day or so, and hopefully we'll get ourselves back into maybe doing the roof on Thursday, if I'm lucky. And then it's move-in time. Yay! You're going to sleep in the nether after reset? I think that would be kind of fun. So I'm going to say thank you all for dropping by. So we're going to head to the end, set up the raid, and then I'll say my goodbyes. And here we go. All right. So as always, thank you very much to Yellow and Lolly for the follows. I really do appreciate that. Thank you to Lord Snarl for bringing his crew in. And we had a great set of viewers tonight. Thank you, as always, to Benson for coming and helping steer the show so it doesn't go far too crazy. And Lyric, you always bring a great spice to the stream, so I'm glad to have you in as well. So let's head on into Huge Stormy Owl, and that's the piece I did forget.
Mischief managed.
There we go. If you guys have access, you're welcome to use the sub emotes there with the little Viking helmet and the that's actually a hype sheep. Even though it may look like a toque or a woolly hat, it's actually a hype sheep. And then if not, you can use the global emotes with the raid axe. Otherwise, just drop any emotes or smiles or whatever that you would like to, and give Stormy Owl our best. I will be joining you momentarily. So once again, thank you, everybody, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.